Hello my darlings, it's Miracle here, and as you can probably tell by the title of this video, today I'll be going over the Jeffree Star Chris Hansen interview debacle. I thought it was a complete and utter waste of time. Chris Hansen left a lot to be desired. In essence, I was not sure whose interview it really was because Jeffree Star ran the show. Chris didn't have any questions prepared, and let's talk about why that is a possibility.
When you do the kind of work that he does, right, you have to remember that it is not an interrogation. Yeah. It's an interview, right? So you have to be able to toe the line because you have to remember he wants guests for next week's show.
Yeah.
You know, and if you get on there and you grill people, no one's going to agree to come onto your show.
Yeah.
So you want to ask people questions in such a way that they hang themselves and you don't hang them because, you know, who the hell's going to come, who's going to sit down with you?
They probably had a conversation before this video was even filmed, and Jeffree probably went over what's okay and what's not okay to discuss. That being said, let's talk about why he even chose Chris Hansen in the first place to even speak on this. Guys, I spoke about this with a friend of mine. With him keeping it to a smaller YouTube-based conversation, he won't have to end up making this a mainstream issue. Now, when it comes to Chris Hansen, Chris decided not to give in to the hard-based questions that everybody was curious about because Chris did this to secure a bag. Now, interestingly, I ended up speaking about my thoughts on Twitter. While I am pleased that everybody has decided to hold all parties accountable, what I felt like happened yesterday was the fact that people are starting to turn this into a canceled Jeffree Star party. Now, I'm not going to make any friends here, but I feel like my feelings are valid because I did not hear one victim discussed yesterday in that interview, nor did I hear anybody, or rather read anybody in the comments speaking about the victims. All they just kept saying is Jeffree is a liar and Jeffree has no idea what he's talking about, and they were frustrated at the fact that Chris Hansen was not asking him the questions. Additionally, I see a lot of people pulling up old receipts about Jeffree Star that have nothing to do with Davi Vanity. Davi Vanity has ruined the lives of many young women. It is potentially 22 women that have gone on record to say that he has been their predator, their attacker. People are not focusing in on is the fact that his predatory ways are still happening in 2020. There has been allegations as late as last week that people said that this man is sliding into their DMs. We have a 15-year-old girl trying to protect this man because she does not understand that this man is a predator, okay? Now, here, look, listen. I'm gonna explain my tweet because it seemed to cause a lot of issues yesterday. You know what? I'm actually gonna take the time to read my tweet because I'm kind of fed up, okay? So I'm gonna read my tweet and let you guys know how I was feeling.
See, I understand you being mad at Jeffree, but are you questioning the old band members who won't speak? The dozens of eyewitnesses, concert goers, even the victims are questioning this turn of outrage. Don't let your hatred for Jeffree Star make you forget about Davi Vanity. The purpose of these interviews have derailed, and somehow this became the Jeffree Star trials instead of getting justice for the victims and Davi arrested. Keep your I hate Jeffree crusade in check. If you want to cancel him, separate it from this situation.
Jeffree clearly lied about things. He probably told the truth about others. But let's cut the crap out in bringing up irrelevant information about him that have nothing to do with the victims. Chris Hansen, I believe you dropped the ball, but you made a move for your channel and secured a bag. Congrats. For the sake of those whose lives were ruined by Davi Vanity, please bring the focus back to them. Jeffree stole the show, and meanwhile, Davi Vanity is still selling his merch on Instagram. Congrats, internet, you played yourself. Now that I took the time to read the tweet, I'm gonna tell you what the tweet was not. The tweet was not an excuse for Jeffree Star. Nowhere in my tweet did I say, let's not look into Jeffree Star's past. Nowhere did I say in this tweet that Jeffree Star did not deserve any of the heat that he's facing right now. What did the tweet say? Remember the victims. Do not turn this into a smear campaign without any substantial sort of evidence going against the person at hand. Because let's call a spade a spade. If you don't like Jeffree Star, that is your business. You are within rights to make that your business. But what we can't do is throw on labels on somebody without any sort of substantial evidence that is actually going to hold true in a court of law. Ideally, let's throw it in this way. Y'all didn't like it when Jeffree threw the predator word on James Charles, especially when it had no substance to it. So how are we going to throw the word predator on Jeffree Star when these things, when you look at it based off of circumstances, do not apply? Yeah, they're pretty crappy activities, but does that make him a predator? No. Does that make him suspect and you might question whether or not he's a decent person? Probably so. And I'm going to say that to you because looking into this man's past and applying things that have nothing to do and ideally is robbing the victims the opportunity to make sure that they are protecting themselves is not a positive action. Let's take a moment to calm down because I'm quite frustrated with this. Yes, there are a lot of interesting tidbits that are coming out about Jeffree Star, but guess what, guys? This stuff was always available on the internet. Just like this information surrounding Davi Vanity. Yes, it has always been available on the internet. But why are we talking about Davi Vanity right now? I think a lot of you forgot. Davi Vanity is trying to come back and make a career for himself. I'm not saying that any of you are at fault, but I am saying that this sort of smear campaign that you were trying to use Davi's situation as a mean to cancel Jeffree Star when all of Jeffree Star's crap was available to the public, and you're using the opportunity to sell out victims and completely destroy this man's reputation for the sake of your smear campaign, it does not make sense to me. Because let's put it this way. Has anybody actively come forward to say that Jeffree Star is their attacker? No. Currently, at the time of this video, so don't come for me later and saying, yes, somebody did, at this present time, and I looked it up, there has not been one person that has accused Jeffree Star of being a predator. Has there been very questionable pictures and images? Yes. 1,000 times yes.
See, I was gonna go into the whole breakdown of why the things that are resurfacing right now won't hold up in the court of law, but you know what? I decided to leave that alone because that is not the main purpose of this video. But you know what? I actually like this post sent out by Dustin Daly because it is wholeheartedly correct in my eyes, and this is what he says. Imagine using the outrage of to cancel everyone but the I get holding people accountable for their parts in things, but no way should that overshadow the actual aggressor.
See, I am all about locking up predators. But you know what really got me? What really and truly got me was this comment.
This Twitter user writes, Jeffree Star is responsible too. He states right in that interview that it was the norm to bring up minors on stage to dance. There is a video which shows Davi Vanity grinding on a minor, and I guarantee she wasn't the first. As you and I are survivors, I would think you would understand those who see are guilty too.
And it wasn't this comment. I'm not going to give too much energy to this person because I'm sure that they were speaking from their heart. They were speaking from their mind's eye. They were speaking from passion. But at some point, people, I have to draw the line. And there is a matter of respect. Let this be a conversation. My assault is not a topic of concern. What you're not about to do is guilt me into feeling a kind of way for trying to focus in on the victims. And I thank a very kind individual for actually reading what I wrote and actually answering my post in the way that I wrote it and understood my full intention. I'm going to read this individual's comment because it meant a lot to me that they actually paid attention to my words that I ended up sharing.
I think when it comes to this mess, we can be mad at multiple people. So Miracle saying J-Star isn't alone to be blamed doesn't mean he is faultless. It means there are other enablers that were around who are just as guilty, if not more, because they were band members.
But to the individuals who didn't read what I said and thought that I was not giving Jeffree the necessary energy that he required, I would advise you to please read what people write. And if you don't know what they mean, ask questions. And it's okay to apologize to somebody. But what will never be okay is trying to bring up somebody's trauma to end up validating your point. I don't need anybody to remind me of what I went through. I don't. And in fact, I came to peace with what has happened to me. I forgave the people that did what they did to me. But I don't need you or anybody telling me how I should feel or how I am not protecting other victims when my whole point was to protect other victims. Let's just not, okay? So at this point, I don't know if I'm going to upload this video. Clearly, I'm quite frustrated. I don't even know if my thoughts make any sense, but let's just recap. Don't talk about my trauma. Don't talk about other people's trauma. And unless they bring it up to you, it's not a conversation to be had, okay? Secondly, Chris Hansen, you did what you did to catch your bag. Congratulations. You played yourself, okay? Jeffree Star, you probably lied. More than likely you lied because you contradicted yourself during that interview. And there are some truths mixed in with that, but I just wish you said, honey boo-boo, I can't talk about it. I wish you would have said that because people would have been able to understand you a little bit more, but now you just look like boo-boo the fool, okay? And the fact that you tried to say that individuals were sitting here trying to make a bag off of YouTube talking about what you did, I don't think that's cute. It doesn't make any sense. And let's just talk about how the fact that you decided to stay silent about what was happening to those victims so you can make your bag. Okay, so if you're gonna call a spade, the pot can't call the kettle black, okay? Because we both black together. We both looking a hot blazing mess together, okay? Because you made money off the fact that you were sitting there going on tour with a predator, okay? So don't try it. Don't, because you look messy. And Jeffree, if you said something, you could have helped other people, even if you didn't have evidence. But we didn't talk about the fact that you claimed on camera that you lied. And that shows that you have a pattern, because this is the second time that you've gone on record where you said that you did not have any sort of substantial evidence to make these claims on somebody else, and you damaged their image.
But I want this message to stay in the forefront of everybody's mind. If Davi Vanity was not such an alleged disgusting individual, then there would be no victims. There would be no conversation to be had. There would be nobody to question the fact that the witnesses that saw these things happening to these victims did not do anything. So let's keep that energy on the one who actually did the actions and make sure that all of the witnesses get that same energy of questioning, because Jeffree just having a bigger platform doesn't mean anything, because if the man didn't see what you guys are claiming he saw, then it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Just guys, child.
Clearly, I don't want to talk about this anymore, so I'm going to leave this conversation alone. But I will say, after Keemstar does have his discussion with Jeffree Star, we will have a panel of people to talk about it. I actually might even talk about it tomorrow with a couple of friends, and we will have an open discussion with you guys. So if you are available tomorrow, I don't know what time yet, but just look out for notifications, because we may be talking about the subject matter. It might be just in relation to Chris Hansen and Jeffree Star, or we might end up discussing Keemstar. It depends on when that video comes out. I really don't know. But guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being patient with me. I do apologize for this explosive energy, but I'm quite frustrated. I'm actually livid even. Shout out to the person who just upset my whole spirit. I really appreciate you. And you know what? I forgive you. I forgive you for trying to use my pain as a way to tell me about myself, but it's okay. I don't wish any ill will on you, but I am setting boundaries. That is not something that you are going to have the opportunity to do to me again, because next time I won't be so nice about it. All right? So, okay, my Troublesome, until next time, love you, okay, bye!